Are you wondering how we test our jade at Satin Crystals? My name is Sheila from Satin Crystals, and today I'm going to show you how we use the gem tester to test our jade inventory. Here we have our gem testing machine and our current selection of jade pieces at Satin Crystals. I'm going to go through each one so we can test to make sure that they are either nephrite or jadeite jade. Now the machine is not a end-all be-all. It won't tell you what the stone is if you don't already have a clue. The gem testing machine is to test to make sure that it'll verify or deny your theory. Now these jade stones, we have a good idea that they are all genuine stones. So if you already know what color they should be, what kind of texture, what kind of transparency, how cold to the touch they are, and you got them from a reputable seller, and you know the origin of the stone, you can test to verify that they are these stones. First of all, you calibrate your machine, so make sure that it reaches the glass, the calibration red line at the end of the machine here, and then it is ready to go. So if it's not calibrated, it might give you a wrong reading. I have zoomed in for you so you can see what kind of gemstones you can verify on the gem testing machine. Now, as you can see, there are only a handful, 2 handfuls of gemstones that you can verify. So a lot of stones that you have in your collection will not be able to be verified by the gem tester. Lucky for us, we can verify nephrite and jadeite, the 2 versions of real jade. So first of all, this top line here, you can see jadeite spinel. If the indicator reaches this line, that means you do have either jadeite or spinel. If it reaches this intersecting line for topaz, it could also be topaz. However, jadeite, spinel versus topaz, they're pretty distinct, and a lot of people can tell between the two, so it's very easy to tell that it's jadeite. However, nephrite, which you can see here on the 4th line, intersects with a bunch of different gemstones. So it could be chrysoprase, it could be quartz, it could be aquamarine if it lands between any of these lines. That's why you need to know beforehand what the properties of nephrite are so that you can verify if it is a nephrite, it'll land right here in this line. And you can see here, this is glass, not one of these other stones. It could be a whole different stone that is not on this chart, but if it is on this chart and it lands here on glass, that means you have glass, not jadeite, not topaz, etc. So let's zoom back out and we will start testing. Our current inventory of jadeite crystals at Satin Crystals comes from Myanmar, which is also known as Burmese jade, and this is one of the most popular, most coveted types of jade out there. So to verify jadeite, just make sure that the indicator line touches the jadeite spinel line up here. I'm going to go one by one through what we have right now so you can see if it is in actuality a jadeite stone. So first of all, we have our amulets. The amulets, let's test that. You just need to press the indicating pen into the stone, and as you can see, it has reached the top line of jadeite. Let's check the other one. It's a different design. It should also go to jadeite, and it touched it right at the end. We have the jadeite slab. This one is rough on the bottom. It also has some of the remaining miner's marks on the bottom. And then they have polished it smooth on one side. So you just press it in, make sure that the indicator line goes to jadeite, which it did right up there. We also have jade bangles. So this is a creamy white bangle. Let's check that one out. and it does reach the line. We have a green bangle that also reaches jadeite. We have a rounded bangle. Oops. And that did reach jadeite as well. I'm having a little difficulty because it's slippery. And then we have our beaded stretch bracelets. So these are the whitish versions of jadeite. Let's watch the machine to make sure that it does get to jadeite. Again, it's a little bit slippery because they're polished round, but that did reach jadeite. And we have the greenish versions. I'll test one of the beads that have not been strung yet. And there we go, we have reached jadeite. We also have some animals. So the animals we have are the lion, the elephant, and the tiger. Here's our tiger jadeite. It is a little bit of a multicolor, but they are both jadeite, the green and white. We have the lion. Let's watch the line for the lion, and it is also jadeite. We have the elephant. The lucky elephant has reached jadeite's line. Oh, I almost forgot our turtle. So the jade turtle, it is also reaching jadeite. We have jadeite amulets, the little donuts. These ones are great also to place your other stones, and you could also make them into necklaces. The jadeite circle slab is great for using as a little pedestal for other stones like the jade animals, or you can even use them to charge up your other stones as a crystal charger. And then lastly of our jadeite collection is the jadeite ring, which you can wear or you can place other stones like the crystal ball as a display holder. So let's check that one out. Let me get a smoother part so I'm not slipping everywhere. And there you go, it has reached jadeite as well. So that is our current jadeite collection. For the future, we will always be checking our jade before we list them on our website, so you can be sure that they are jadeite as well. Next, we are going to test our current selection of Nephrite jade at Satin Crystals. So our Nephrite jade comes from Canada, which is a large exporter of genuine Nephrite jade. So Nephrite jade is a little trickier than jadeite in confirming with the gem tester because it can be so many other stones depending on where the indicator lands. So what we want to see is that the indicator landing on this fourth line here that says chrysoprase, emerald, and nephrite. So watch out for that line, and let's start with our nephrite jade rings. So here's one in the gold color. Okay, it does reach that line. I accidentally touched the metal with the pen, and that makes that loud screeching noise, so you do want to avoid that if you can. Our sterling silver jadeite ring, nephrite ring, does land in the nephrite line there. We have the sterling silver nephrite jade pendant, the teardrop, and that has been verified as nephrite. The point pendant, you can see some white on this side, darker green here. Usually the nephrite will also show the black inclusion. Sometimes it's even greenish black. Let's test that, and it does reach the nephrite line. Next, I'm going to test our nephrite earrings. We have two pairs right now. We have little owls and little skulls, and they're both sterling silver dangles with nephrite beads. The beads all come from the same strands, so I'm just going to test one bead to make sure that it is nephrite. There we go. It does reach the nephrite line, so those are nephrite as well. And then lastly, for our nephrite collection are the 3 nephrite jade beads strung with white howlite. So let's check those. They do reach nephrite jade. Just for fun, let's see what howlite comes up as. howlite goes past the nephrite line and it goes to jadeite. But as I was saying, this is a good example where we know this is definitely not jadeite because it's howlite, but it read as jadeite. So that's why the gem tester can only verify or deny your theories. Now I'm going to give you a good example of why you can't always just trust what a vendor is saying, even if they are reputable, if you have used them for a long time. They just may not know, they may not be educated, they may not have tested their stones, they may just be taking the word of their vendors. So when we obtained these jade spheres, the vendor told us that it was a nephrite stone, and judging by the color, the dark green richness, it did remind us of the Canadian nephrite that we just tested as well. However, upon testing it with the gem tester, you will see that the indicator goes to jadeite jade. So these spheres are actually jadeite crystal balls. Next, we have this pile of beads here, which a vendor we have used for a long time, which we also got these natural jadeite beads from, said this is a jadeite. Upon arriving, we noticed that it obviously does not look the same. The luster is not the same. It's not cold to the touch like the jadeite that we previously received. So even though we knew that it's not jadeite, I just wanted to test to make sure that it wasn't some kind of new version that we had never seen before. So when I did test these beads, let's see where it goes. It only goes to the glass section. Now, obviously, these beads are going to be returned. They are not going to be listed on our website. And that is a good example of why you need to test your stones. You need to, first of all, know exactly what you are buying and what you're not buying. The best way, of course, is to send it into a certified gemological laboratory if you want to know exactly what you have. The second way is to educate yourself with all of our videos that we have available. We are going to be doing and covering more gemstones as we go along, but we learn along the way, and we are happy to inform and educate the public as well so that we know exactly what we are buying. So there you go. That is the gem tester that tests out our jade for us from now on. If you would like to know even more about real versus fake gemstones, head on over to Satin Crystals. We have a lot of information about a lot of popular gemstones just like jade. We also have a large selection of natural gemstones for you to buy. While you're there, join the Satin Crystals VIP Club, and we send out crystal information every single week. Please do like and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out on the upcoming crystal videos we have for you throughout the year. As always, thank you for your positive energy at Satin Crystals, and thank you for spreading your light into our world.